Hi and welcome. Today we are diving into a topic that is both critical and close to the heart of every Nigerian cuisine. Creating a very low protein menu that fits your lifestyle and healthy goals. Now, if you or someone you know is managing kidney disease or any condition that requires a protein restricted diet, and you know how challenging it can be to balance delicious meals with dietary needs, but don't worry, I am here to show you that it's possible, practical, and even enjoyable. So grab a cup of tea and your notepad, relax, and let's explore some satisfying Nigerian meals options together. So firstly, Nigeria has a rich cultural heritage and provides several ingredients to work with. However, when managing protein intakes, it's about the right combinations and precise quantities. For Nigerian patients with chronic kidney disease, which we call CKD, who require very low protein diet, careful food selection is very critical. So today we're going to talk about some of the options to consider, and we're going to start with starchy staples. Now, starchy staple class, these foods, they provide energy with minimal protein content. So first of all, we have our cassava-based foods. The options we have here are we have gari, we have fufu, starch, or tapioca, which are all very low protein and carbohydrate rich. Then we have our amala, which is made from yam or cassava flour. This is commonly served with soups like ewedu or what we call okra or ila. Then we have the pap, which is ogi or akamo. This is a fermented cornmeal porridge which people take with as breakfast. Then we have cocoyam, which can be boiled, pounded, or used as a thickener in soup or even as a side dish. Then we also have our Irish potato or sweet potato. This is preferably prepared boiled, smashed, or roasted. Then we have our cornmeal, which is known as tuwo masara in the northern part of Nigeria. This is made into molds or they are eaten as a porridge. Then now let's go into the vegetable and soup classes. Now, vegetable and soup are generally low in protein unless you add your protein, your animal proteins to it. So in this class, we have your okra soup, which is also very low in protein and rich in fiber. So it's very ideal for those that are diabetic. Then we have ewedu, known as jute mallow. This is mostly prepared without any high protein additives. Then we also have our ugu, known as pumpkin leaves. This is used in soups to give it a very nutritional content without overloading on protein. Then garden egg, which is also known as eggplant. This is suitable in soups or as a side dish, or you can even snack on this with your granite. The third class we're going to talk about is your fruits. Fruits are generally low in protein and they also add energy and vitamins to our mealtime. We have our pawpaw, we have the watermelon, and we have pineapple. Now, for these fruits, if you are diabetic, you have to be very, very cautious because watermelon and pineapple is not ideal for diabetic patients. So you should look for other nutritional sources to get your vitamins from, which are better for you if you have high sugar issues. Then let's now talk about snacks and light meals. Now we have for snack, we have our eko, which is made from corn, is easily digestible and very low in protein. Then, we mentioned tapioca initially, but yes, for snacks, you can actually have tapioca also. This is made from cassava. It is mostly served with a light syrup or a milk substitute like your oat milk, your coconut milk, or even your rice milk. Then we have low protein crackers. These ones, you can get them in your retail stores. We have crackers that are made from rice, which is very good for people that are avoiding protein, especially those that are on a very low protein diet. So now we're going to now talk about the meal plan. And we're going to start with your breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So it's very, very essential. You keep it very light and nourishing. So for our breakfast option, we're going to talk about pairing your akamo, that is your pap, with a dairy milk substitute like coconut milk, almond milk, or oat milk. Now, the reason why we are pairing it with dairy milk substitute because we know our animal milk has protein in it. So it's advisable to go for plant-based milk. So for your pap is a very popular Nigerian dish which is made from fermented corn. It is naturally low in protein, making it perfect for a very low protein diet. So you can pair your pap with a splash of coconut milk and a teaspoon of sugar. This is very light, it is comforting, and with just the right amount of sweetness. You pair this with a small serving of fresh fruit like your peeled apples for an energy boost. So the second option you can have for your breakfast is your egg white. So for people with CKD, they should go for egg whites, not the yolk, because the yolk is very high in phosphorus and you should avoid a high phosphorus diet as much as possible. You can make your egg white as an omelette, or you can make it as scrambled eggs. Now we're going to talk about lunch. This is where Nigerian cuisine truly shines. These meals are very hearty and filling, but still fit the very low protein guideline. So we're going to talk about the lunch options that are available for those that have chronic kidney disease, and we're going to start with pairing your amala, which is a low protein swallow, with your ewedu soup. Now for this classical meal, you keep the ewedu soup very light using minimal seasoning, and don't add any fish or meat. Don't add cow, which is potash, which is normally added to make the ewedu draw. But if you must add it, just let it be a little pinch, and then you now pair it with your controlled portion of amala. Then secondly, you can have your vegetable soup with grounded corn fufu, laying emphasis on corn. This can be prepared, your vegetable can be prepared using ugu, which is known as your pumpkin leaves, okra, or spinach. Then now the third option for your lunch is boiled yam with peppered sauce. Now enjoy a small portion of yam paired with a small peppered sauce made from fresh tomatoes. Now these tomatoes, you must use small quantity because tomatoes are very high in potassium. So your fresh sauce is going to be made from your tomatoes, your bell peppers, which we call tatashe down in Nigeria, and then your onions. Also ensure that when you are preparing your sauce, you apply just a little bit of seasoning for a flavorful yet balanced meal. By the time dinner rolls in, you want something very light because your lunch should have been a very heavy meal, but this dinner will still satisfy you. Now we're going to talk about some of the few dinner options you have. So the first one we're going to talk about is having your sweet potato and vegetable stir fry. So for your sweet potato, just a small serving of the boiled sweet potato is all you need. Then you now pair it with your stir fry. Now your stir fry will include your cabbage, cauliflower, your bell pepper, which is your green pepper, your red pepper, or your yellow pepper, which has been sliced and chopped, with your onions. And then what you do is that if you're going to make this stir fry, you just add a little bit, a teaspoon of coconut oil or olive oil is all you need. Then we now go to another option, which is roasted plantain with garden egg sauce. This is a very delicious meal that you definitely love. So you just roast half a plantain. You can roast this in your oven, and then you pair it with a lightly prepared garden egg sauce. This is very easy to prepare and is very delicious. Then our third option is a light yam porridge. So yam porridge mostly is a heavy meal, but so this one you're going to prepare it as light as possible. Just a few slices of yam, pair it with your palm oil, tomatoes, and vegetable like ugu, because when you add ugu to your meals, ugu is rich in fiber, so it will even help preventing a spike in your blood sugar. Then of course, when you're going to make this meal, you omit any form of fish or meat. Then of course, we can't forget our snacks, because some people will still love to nibble some things here and there. So we're going to now discuss some of the great low protein options that we have. Now I'm going to emphasize on low protein options. So the first one we're going to talk about is your fresh fruit salad. So just have a bowl mixed with your diced watermelon, pawpaw, and apples. These options are very refreshing, they are sweet, and they are packed with the essential minerals and vitamins you need for your daily living. Then now let's talk about your roasted corn. Your roasted corn can be paired with your ube, which is our local pear, or coconut. Now you must pair this coconut on controlled portions. A small handful of your coconut and your roasted corn can curb any hunger without overloading on protein. Use small portions, like I said, like just 1 cup of corn is okay. Then you can snack also on your eko, which is also known as agidi. This is made from corn, which is very easily digestible, and it is also very low in protein. Now let's now talk about the last option, which is your tapioca. Tapioca is also a very light porridge, which is made from cassava. This is served with a light syrup or milk, and this can be taken at night just in case you want to just have something before you call it a day. Before we wrap up, now let's talk about a few general tips we must keep in mind when you are having a low protein diet. The first thing is adding your seasoning. Now, we all know that we like to use salt or our various seasonings in the market. Make sure that you use just a pinch of salt, not more than a gram, and then half a cube of low sodium seasoning. So you must make sure that you read your packages when you are buying your seasoning, especially when you are battling with chronic kidney disease. Now, you are adding all this seasoning just to maintain the flavor without overdoing on the sodium. Then the second thing is portion control. Portion control should be your best friend. Small servings is all you need to help you stay within your dietary limit while still enjoying your favorite meal. So don't overdo it on your servings. Now, the third thing is experimenting with vegetables. Nigerian cuisine has an abundance of leafy greens. We have, like we've mentioned, your spinach, which is your in our western part, we have shoko, we have tete, we have water leaf. Then we also have other leaves that are even in other parts of Nigeria that you can add to your meal time. These things will bulk up the meal while keeping them low protein. Then oil. When you are adding oil to your meals, keep it low. It is recommended that you use as little as a teaspoon. Yes, I said a teaspoon. And preferably, if you are already battling the condition that is known as chronic kidney disease, go for options like your coconut oil, your olive oil, or even if you can afford it, avocado oil. Then now the fifth discussion is avoiding high protein soup. We mostly love our protein in Nigeria. So if you are dealing with chronic kidney disease, you have to really limit the amount of proteins you eat. So traditionally, Nigerian soups, they contain so much like your crayfish, your stockfish, and other high protein ingredients. So instead of using all this, use things like onions and spices to make your meal, your stews have more flavor. Then work with a kidney dietitian to ensure nutrient balance while limiting protein intake. So before we wrap it up, remember, a very low protein diet doesn't mean a bland or boring food. With a little bit of creativity and careful planning, you can still enjoy variety of meals while staying on track. So as we have come to the end of today's episode, I want to just say thank you for watching our show. I know that everything you've heard today has been of immense benefit to you. If you found any topic that we have shared on our podcast today helpful to you, please share with your friends, share with your family. A lot of people you don't know might be battling this condition and they will not share, they will not let you know. So this information will be of immense benefit to them. Let's spread this knowledge around. You might not know the life that you are saving. And so for more tips and recipes, please do send in your questions. Drop that question in our comment section or even send us an email. We will definitely get back to you. And until next time, stay healthy and stay inspired. Enjoy your day.